Over the past 30 years, the United States has been facing increasing economic disparity among different social and ethnic groups. While many white American families have been able to gain exorbitant economic resources in order to support their families, many African American, Latino, and minority families have been struggling just to get the most minimal amount. Economic resources are major catalysts for achieving a valuable education, which can help children gain social mobility and a higher education. But due to the economic disparity among different ethnic groups, many minority children are unable to access the educational resources they need in order to achieve their goals for a higher education.
People how they thought the wealth in this country was divided. But what's most interesting to me is the reality compared to our perception. So ignore the ideal for a moment, and here is the actual distribution, shockingly skewed. Not only do the bottom 20% and the next 20%, the bottom 40% of Americans barely have any of the wealth. I mean, it's hard to even see them on the chart. But the top 1% has more of the country's wealth than 9 out of 10 Americans believe the entire top 20% should have.
When you look at the data nationally, what you see is a pattern where low-income students and African-American Latino students enter college at rates below those of white high school graduates. But they also succeed in college at lower rates.
The current situation in U.S. schools is very unequal. Data that measures every aspect of the classroom reveals that race and finance often provide obstacles to young children trying to learn.
If I have kids, I want kids to be in this environment.
What?
Like around here. I mean, I want my kids to have better than what I had.
I'm just so afraid for him. I cry for him sometimes because I know he can easily be influenced to do things that he shouldn't do.
I stayed back 1 grade and it was in the 2nd grade.
Why?
Because my father had passed.
Next year, Anthony's class will move up to junior high. Most will go to John Philip Sousa, which the Washington Post called an academic sinkhole. If Anthony goes to Sousa, odds are he will enter high school 3 to 5 grade levels behind. Anthony's class visits the Seed School, the first urban public boarding school in the country.
To come to Seed, geography and luck, that's it. You have to live in the district, you have to pull out a bingo ball, call your number.
It's bittersweet to me. If I get in, they give me a better chance in life. But if I don't, I just be with my friends.
In the previous clip from the documentary Waiting for Superman, students in this DC neighborhood are affected by a poor education which limits their chances of social mobility. As described with a child who has high aspirations for college and a better life for his future, he will be unable to do so with a school that most of his classmates would attend. With limited resources and ineffective teachers, we can see how children with much potential do not succeed in academics. In the lottery system mentioned in the clip, the students have a chance to attend a prestigious junior high school. However, if he is not rewarded this opportunity, he knows that he will not succeed in school. In a poorly run school with limited resources and opportunities, students and families feel a sense of hopelessness that reflects their poverty.
What if you are one of the lucky students whose family can afford to live in a school district located in a wealthy community? La Jolla is one of California's most affluent areas and hosts a nationally ranked public high school, La Jolla High. Neighboring Del Mar is even wealthier and hosts another nationally ranked public high school, Torrey Pines High. These schools are funded in part by property taxes in an area where the 2013 median home price is about $1 million and triple the median home price of the surrounding San Diego County, as the cost of educating all children continues to rise. Parents and supporters at La Jolla High vowed to conquer the cuts, and in 1983 figured out a way around the decrease in public funding by creating a nonprofit 501c3 foundation called the Foundation of La Jolla High School. Parents at Torrey Pines High followed their example 10 years later in 1993, creating the Torrey Pines High School Foundation.
I'm the executive director for the foundation. Today we are having Toast to Torrey, which is being hosted by the Pacific Athletic Club here. The event raises money. It's our kickoff event for our live auction that we'll have on March the 31st and our silent auction that starts on March 9th. All the proceeds from this event and our live event go to benefit what we call Shared Vision. Shared Vision is a fund that benefits every student, so the projects and programs that would benefit every student is our goal today. March 31st is called Pump Up the Volume. It's a live auction, it's a dance, there's a little bit of entertainment. It's really a fun, casual evening, jeans only, no dressing up, no black tie, no dragging all our stuff to hotels. It's just about our 10 top items that we have. It's just really a fun, casual evening. People get together, parents and friends, and just have a good time.
Federal tax documents made available by ProPublica show that these foundations raise substantial sums, primarily from wealthy donors in the community. In 2012, Foundation of La Jolla High School raised over $700,000, almost entirely from individual and family contributions, amounting to an extra 5% in funding per student per year. In the same year, Torrey Pines High School raised over $1.8 million, coming from a nearly equal split between contributions and fundraising activities, giving each student an extra 9% in funding per year. So what does the extra money buy students who attend these better-funded public high schools? Surf PE, dance PE, ski trips, plus language instruction in French, German, Italian, Latin, Japanese, and Mandarin, an array of arts, music, dance, and sports programs, access to more advanced placement classes, and some of the lowest student-to-teacher ratios in the county.
When it comes to success in schools, few are given better resources for this goal than those from affluent families. Parents with higher income ensure success by providing the best education and access to educational resources that money can provide. Let's take the Trinity School in New York City, for instance. Ranked by Forbes magazine as the #1 preparatory school in America, this school's tuition costs around $40,000 per year. That's more than the annual fees of some universities. That being said, let's take a look at what this school's tuition includes. Global study abroad options, over 20 clubs, internship programs, and strong arts and athletics programs. In Trinity's music department alone, which brings in local New York musicians to teach classes, the students receive access to unique forms of social capital that wouldn't be available in most public schools. With such diverse programs, students are given more access to social capital and cultural capital, which can give students an advantage over their public school counterparts. Not only are there multiple resources for students to access, but with a $40,000 tuition, there are signs of parental support at home for their child's success and an investment in a child's educational success. Even with scholarships and financial aid packages, only students who show exceptional potential are considered for aid. Instead of providing these resources and access to social capital to struggling students from low economic areas who could benefit from these resources, these schools help work to keep the elite at the top, therefore furthering the achievement gap in education.
Cultural capital can be thought of as knowledge and experiences that children have obtained outside of school, which confers advantages in the classroom. For example, a middle-class child that has a computer at home will be better equipped for courses that require the use of a computer, as opposed to a student from a lower economic class whose family can't afford such a computer. Cultural capital can also result from language use at home. A child who speaks the same language as the dominant culture is likely to have more academic success than a student who speaks some vernacular language form at home. Some schools consider social capital in their admissions process. For example, Fairmont Private School in Orange County claims to have a rigorous admissions process in which a child's academic level and social skills will be evaluated. Children who are raised in a family in which certain behaviors are seen as acceptable at home but not acceptable by the school would have a reduced chance at admission. Economic capital is also a significant determinant in whether or not a child can attend this private school. Annual tuition is about $24,000. This sends a clear message that only those who can pay for the fees are welcome. Lower income students would have no chance at admission. As a result of this admissions process, it is clear that the school seeks to teach behaviors and beliefs of the dominant culture among students who can afford to access this culture. This perpetuates the divide between middle class and lower class students. My name is Anand Murthy. I attended Troy High School, which is ranked number 3 in the U.S. News and World Report in science and math. My family lived outside of the school district for Troy High School. I wanted to attend Troy High School because it was a major school where I lived, and it was very competitive. It had an IB program and an AP program, and also had a technology program, which really helped students become competitive applicants for a college. My family worked around living outside the district by using a family friend's address, and we had all our mail sent there, and that way I actually technically lived inside the district. Going to that high school was worth breaking the rules because it was a very competitive school. The chance to take all those AP tests and to gain a better foundation with the International Baccalaureate program and the technology program, which gave me an internship, which I was able to learn a great deal about business and all other facets of what's necessary to be a successful applicant were really beneficial to me. If I didn't break the rules, I'd end up going to my normal district school, which also had its own tech and IB program, but they were brand new and they were not up to the standards of Troy High School.